In the headlines, police kill 10 bandits, rescue 39 victims in Bauchi. Flood submerges houses, destroys property in Lagos as state government postpones planned third mainland bridge repairs. Inconsistencies trail National Assembly election petition tribunal. And away from Nigeria, Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso established Sahel Security Alliance. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. Now the news in detail. The Bauchi State Police Command has revealed that kidnappers demanded the sum of 50 million ransom from each of the 39 victims recently abducted in Yankari Forest in Alakaleri local government area of Bauchi State before they were rescued by security operatives. The command's public relations officer SP Ahmed Wakil disclosed this in a statement made available to journalists. The security operatives, while trying to rescue the abducted victims, killed 10 of the kidnappers. The victims were rescued following a successful operation by Operation Sharon Daji, which comprises 2 police tactical units, the Anti-Kidnapping Unit, a Rapid Response Corps, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, set up by the Bauchi State Commissioner of Police Awal Muhammad to sanitize the kidnappers' den and rescue the kidnapped victims. Wakil said the joint operation has carried out several successful operations within and outside of the capital. And according to him, preliminary investigation revealed that the kidnappers invaded Gacha village, attacked and abducted the victims who were on their way home. The Kaduna State Police Command has apprehended 4 over alleged child trafficking in the state. They were arrested at Samaru Zaria in Savangari local government area of the state and brought to the police headquarters. The state acting public relations officer Mansour Hassan said the suspects were apprehended through intelligence report.
The arrested suspects have been identified as Rahila Gajere, a retired social worker, Ngozi Peter, a nurse, Mariam Afaka, and Blessing Eze. During interrogation at the police command, Mariam confessed to supplying Ngozi with stolen children and receiving payment from her. She admitted to obtaining these babies from young girls with unwanted pregnancy. Mariam said she has supplied about 3 to 4 infants to Ngozi but doesn't know where the babies have been taken to.
Ai wani sa'in tana bin mu a baya. Mu biyu za mu tafi ko ta bi mu zama na uku. Ba wai ni kadai za ta sa ba. Mu biyu da ɗayan matan tana zama a shagonta amma ba ita ta san ɗayan matan.
We often go together with another woman when we steal a child, we give her, and she takes back and runs with the child. I don't know where she takes the children to. She pays me 25 or 50,000 naira per child.
The one sa'in ta bani 50,000, one sa'in ta bani 25,000.
Ngozi, on her part, denies stealing any babies, claiming that the 2 girls found in her house were adopted.
I adopted the 2 girls.
How?
The senior one was 2017.
How much have you paid?
350,000.
You pay 350,000 naira to who?
There's one woman that have similar issue that I was introduced to through Mrs. Eze.
How much do you buy the second one?
450,000.
450,000 naira. How? To who?
I am a reproductive health provider. So it's a student that came to my shop and confided in me that she had unwanted pregnancy.
She explained that she had met Mariam 2 years ago because she used to patronize her chemist. Rahila, a retired social worker, and Blessing were also implicated as members of the group.
I asked her where did she got the child. She didn't tell me.
She didn't tell you?
Yes,
Why do you issue her certificates?
I am sorry, sir.
As you know, born, I still not born. So I can't direct them to my church member. And so the woman is late now. And both the husband, two of them, is late. It's late because they don't leave Zaria.
The command's public relations officer, ASP Mansour Hassan, while advising all to be cautious of people around them, confirmed that investigation is ongoing, while the suspect will be charged to court once the investigation concludes.
We always have this issue at Zaria. With this, that is why we draw the attention of the members of the public, especially who are given house for rent and other things. So they should be very, very careful.
They further confess that they conceal their faces with veils when carrying out their activities to hide their identities. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And away from Zaria in Kaduna State, a gang of armed robbers on Sunday killed one man and injured another after opening fire on a moving vehicle around Kubwa Access in Abuja. The deceased, simply identified as Bingo, was said to be on his way home from a nightclub and boarded a taxi in the early hours of Sunday. The report.
The taxi driver, who was shot on one of his hands, managed to drive to Kubwa General Hospital, where he was first treated. But his passenger, who was shot on his abdomen, was not so lucky and was confirmed dead on arrival. His remains were later taken from the hospital on Wednesday and moved to his home state of Adamawa for burial. Trust TV visited his family home around F01 in Kubwa, where a security guard attached to the house, one Jibrin Baba, narrated how the incident took place.
In the morning, around 4:30 to 5. They coming by car drop into combat. The army robber blocking after the Sokare Nana back to our compound. They shoot the driver.
In another incident, a gang of armed robbers had attacked a housing estate known as Annex, located at Chikokuri community on the outskirts of the same Kubwa town in Abuja. The incident took place in the early hours of Tuesday, where the gunmen, said to be numbering about 10, had shot one of the security guards attached to the estate. The victim, Eze Okere, had spoken to our reporter from his bed at the Kubwa General Hospital, where he had been on admission.
Beating the door until the door comes out. I use gun. Shoot me from it. With gun. That security gun. That gun is security gun.
Some of the attackers moved directly to a particular compound in the estate, where they robbed the family of their 5 iPhone phones, jewelry worth 3 million naira, as well as cash amounting to over 1 million naira. A member of the family, Ronke Akinwole, said she was preparing to celebrate her birthday on Thursday before the attack.
So when the guy called me that thief. So, and I come out, I called my husband that there's a thief. So, and before then they enter, one of them jumped into the gate. They use a cutlass to cut it. So I called my husband that there's a thief. So my husband was coming out. He tried to call the neighbor, maybe they can get a police. But he couldn't, the fear couldn't make it.
Of late, there have been many cases of kidnapping in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
And now to the Center of Excellence in Lagos State, where residents are lamenting the devastating impact of the early morning rains that submerged a number of houses in the affected areas in Agege, Egbeda, Ikotun, Ajegule and Ojo, among the worst hit areas as the flood swept through their streets and houses. The report.
A territorial coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Ibrahim Farin Lawyer, said a commercial motorcycle rider was swept away by the flood because he allegedly refused to heed to warnings from his colleagues not to ride along the Ile-Epo bus stop canals in Alimoso, local government area of Lagos State. Farin Lawyer said NEMA, along with the Disaster Management Unit of the Nigeria Police, team of Nigeria Police Force from the Dokpemu Divisional Police Station, Lagos State Neighborhood Security Corps, in conjunction with the Community Development Associations of Papa Ashafa, Fashola and others, helped distribute emergency relief aid to the flood-impacted communities. Meanwhile, the Lagos state government has announced the postponement of the planned palliative works on the failed sections of the third mainline bridge. The repairs were scheduled for Sundays, September 17th and 24th, between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on both days. According to a release signed by the Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, Oluwaseun Oshiyemi, on Saturday, the postponement is due to the heavy downpour experienced in all parts of the metropolis on Saturday. He explained that the rain has affected the preliminaries of the planned palliative works on the asphalt pavements of the bridge by the Lagos State Public Works Corporation. The Transport Commissioner assured that a later date, which will be subject to weather conditions, will be duly communicated for the palliative works, urging motorists to continue to access the bridge with observance of safety measures.
And now moving to post-election matters, the National Assembly Election Petition Tribunals sitting in several states will end their proceedings on Saturday and will deliver judgment on no fewer than 400 election petitions. 552 election petitions were filed by the grouped candidates who participated in the National Assembly elections, out of which 150 of the cases have been decided. A slew of verdicts over the past week threw up a series of upsets, leading to victories of 7 senators, 23 reps being nullified. Kehinde Amodu analyzes the National Assembly tribunal verdicts in this report.
A 180-day timeline is provided by the Electoral Act for petitions to be decided. Going by this provision, the tribunals are expected to deliver their verdicts on or before September 22 for National Assembly petitions and October 11 for governorship petitions. A lot of activity has gone down, with 150 cases already decided on National Assembly petitions, out of which some suits were withdrawn by the petitioners. From the verdicts given so far, no fewer than 7 senators and 23 House of Representatives members had their elections nullified. 3 of the senators were sacked outright, while 4 of them will face supplementary polls. In the House of Representatives, 18 members were sacked, and there will be 7 supplementary polls. Among the nullified polls, the All Progressives Congress had 5, the People's Democratic Party had 14, the Labour Party 6, and the New Nigeria People's Party 2. By implication, the APC has gained 7 seats, the PDP 5, the Labour Party 2, and the All Progressives Grand Alliance 1. Some of the reasons the tribunals gave for nullifying the elections include invalid nomination, forged names, forged certificates, falsification of results, exclusion of results, non-recording of results, and non-conduct of elections in some polling units. Some of the verdicts delivered may have implications on tribunal verdicts of some state government petitions. The verdicts in Plateau State are a case in point, where the Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Jos nullified the elections of 4 National Assembly members of the People's Democratic Party. In a unanimous judgment of the 3-member panel, Justice Mohammed Tukur ruled that the PDP candidates in the state were invalidly nominated because the party had no structure at the time of nominations. There are speculations that these tribunal judgments may affect the fortunes of Governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfwang, whose nomination followed the same process. Not surprisingly, all those whose elections were nullified have indicated their intentions to appeal the judgments. Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
Governor Nasir Idris of Kebbi State has called for investigation into the fire incident that gutted the 2 transformers of the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) amid rumors surrounding what triggered it. The governor, who was accompanied by the Minister of State for Health, Yusuf Tanko Sunono, during his visit to the scenes of the fire incident at the TCN power station in Birnin Kebbi on Saturday, said there were rumors that overherding of power might be responsible for the fire. He lauded the state and federal fire services for being able to put out the fire without allowing it to spread and cause other damages. while calling on people to remain calm and give TCN the necessary support in the ongoing efforts to restore power in the state. He said he has given money to the Ministry of Water Resources to procure more diesel to make water available to people for use during the blackout period. You're still watching Trust TV News Update. Still to come. Local cab traders lament low patronage. Details of this story and more after the short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching the Trust TV News Update, a recap of our top stories. We told you earlier that police killed 10 bandits, rescued 39 victims in Bauchi. And the flood submerges houses, destroys property in Lagos as state government postpones planned third mainland bridge repairs. Now to more news. The new buses provided by the Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum as part of the government's palliatives have crushed transport fares across Maiduguri metropolis, despite the fuel subsidy removal, which hiked prices of transport fares and increased prices of commodities. Maiduguri residents are now paying just 50 naira to any destination within the capital. Beatrice Kurutsi reports that Keke riders are envious because they're losing passengers to these buses. Take a look.
In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
The flag off of the 70 buses is among the numerous accomplishments of the state government, marking the first 100 days of Governor Zulum's second term. The new buses, which have started plying the Maiduguri metropolis, are to help address the cost of transportation for residents in Maiduguri. This afternoon, passengers didn't mind waiting for hours for the arrival of the bus at strategic points. Some residents said they opted to wait because the buses are affordable, unlike the usual keke rides where they are charged over 150 naira.
The masses are suffering. There is sometimes the transport, you won't have any money to transport yourself, and begging, there is no way you can beg for them to accept due to the fuel rising. So that is what I see. The governor has made a helpful for the masses, and I'm sure they know about it, and they are feeling it now.
We are very happy to see providing this wonderful development to us. Before he did well to us. That is why we do not say may God bless him.
An samu reduction a transportation sosai. Da ba ana biya 150 zuwa university or so, ba yanzu 50 naira suke charging ba. An rage sosai.
The fuel subsidy withdrawal, since it was implemented, impacted the lives of Nigerians negatively, with the transportation sector among the hardest hit. This forced commercial transport operators like keke riders to increase fares. With new buses in town, it has caused envy and reduced the daily proceeds for Keke Napep riders.
Akan farashi mai sauki naira 50 suna biya wai din suna shan wahala suna biyan Napep 150 shine an kawo musu sauki wai su dinga biyan 50 naira to duk da haka dai mu bari ana mu cin abinci ba bakin da Allah tsaka din koda da zai bashi abincin da zai ci.
This development will not stop us from surviving the economy, because we have our own various ways to survive. Surely it's to alleviate the suffering of the poor masses, but what caused this hardship? It's because the subsidy removal. If they can reverse that, that will be much better. But they did this for their own interest. Look at it critically. You will buy fuel at the high price and you will pay the bus drivers at the end. For me, it's purely politics.
To gashi na zo an kawo muri ma muna lallabawa shi din ma yanzu an kashe mana aiki aikin mu ba yamma ba wani aikin da muke yi.
Just managing life, they suddenly brought new buses again to affect our businesses. We only make profits in the evening time because that's when we get enough passengers. And look at Botma, any traffic offense we will spend so much. We just want them to make things easy for us. Now we spend hours without getting passengers. We can't reduce our transport fares because if you do, you will be at loss. Maiduguri residents are hopeful that the new trend will be sustained until things get better in Nigeria. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Still in Maiduguri, local copper traders in the town have expressed concern that low patronage might force them out of business, which may worsen the unemployment crisis in the country. The traders who fled their ancestral homes in Bama town exactly 9 years ago, when insurgents invaded their town, said they started the business of knitting and selling local crops to earn a living and be independent. Olatunji Omirin visits the market in Maiduguri, where traders and consumers are not happy with the current economic situation in the country. The report.
For one to look corporate in traditional attires, a cap is a must on itself to match the northern culture. Abdullah Ali, the secretary of the traders, complained of low patronage, saying caps are available, but costly due to high cost of materials.
The business is not going because the sale is becoming very low, and even if you sell, you don't even get your money within the expected period.
Also, traders said there's no hustling or bustling that usually characterized the market in the previous years. The market has drastically reduced compared to last year or 2 years ago, as a result of economy hardship and subsidy removal. Resident Musa Mohammed says he could barely afford to buy food stuff because of the hike in prices, and so cabs are not a priority for him now.
Only when you are okay, when you get enough food stuff, enough money that can be able to take care of your family, then you will now think of other things like cap. But since the removal, we cannot be able, I did not even buy because I can say like 60% of what I am getting is going by transportation.
They beg the government to support their businesses because they also pay taxes and contribute to the economic growth of this country. Olatunji Omirin, Trust TV.
Away from Nigeria, Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger have signed a mutual defense pact as the three Sahel countries aim to help each other against possible threats of armed rebellion or external aggression. The charter, known as the Alliance of Sahel States, binds the signatories to assist one another, including the military, in the event of an attack on any of them. The Liptako-Goma region, where the Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger borders meet, have been ravaged by armed rebellion in the recent years. An armed rebellion that erupted in northern Mali in 2012 spread to Niger and Burkina Faso in 2015. Now to sport, the duo Funke Oshonaike and Fatima Bello won Nigeria's first gold at the ongoing ITTF Africa Senior Championship in Tunisia. Ashanaike and Bello defeated Sarah Hinaf and Cameroon and Egypt's Marwa Al Hope Dhabi 3-2, 11-8, 11-4, 7-11 and 10-12 in the final of the women's double event on Saturday. In the semi-finals, Nigeria defeated Mauritius duo Oheghani Hossenali and Medeshawari Jalim 3-0, 11-6, 11-7, 11-7. Meanwhile, world number 18 Kadri Aruna and 2019 African Games champion Olajide Omotayo have progressed into the men's singles semi-finals of the ITTIF Africa. And in a thrilling display of dominance, Taiwo Babatunde propelled Nigeria to a resounding victory over Algeria, 28-18 goals at the ongoing 2023 African Under-18 Women's Handball Nations Championship in Tunisia. Babatunde, who was adjudged the MVP, displayed clinical and magical moments, dazzling the Algerians in the second half of the match. Nigeria was held by the Algerians in the first half by 10-10 goals before her decisive goals set the tone for the Nigerian team and an overwhelming performance. The team's depth and versatility were on the full display as all the players, including Esther Matthew, Rahima Bello, Damilola Akinlade and Monica Opara, also found the back of the net. Nigeria's cohesive teamwork and flawless execution left their Algerian opponent stunned, and the coach of Nigeria Under-18 women's team, Agbola Shitu, was pleased that Nigeria were able to extend their lead in the second half by 10 goals and secure the maximum point. Nigeria is returning to the African Under-18 Women's Championship for the first time in 23 years and will play their next match against Guinea on Sunday at 4 p.m. And with that, we have come to the end of the news update at this hour. On behalf of the news crew, I'd like to say thank you for watching. My name is Mardia Umar. Bye for now.